Shoftim shochim titan lecho b'chol sharecho. Judges and law enforcers you should put in place in all your communities. The Mishnah tells us in Sanhedrin that if you have a community as few as 120 individuals, according to one opinion, you have to have a court of 23. Shoftim. This is referred to in the Gemara Sanhedrin Kitano. These are ordained judges where they're proficient to deal with any case, even to rule on the death penalty. In all the communities which Hashem, meaning it's in Eretz Yisrael, v'shoftu sam mishpat tzedek, and they will judge the people a judgment of tzedek, of righteousness. Rashi, it's understood. What does it have to do? V'shoftu sam mishpat tzedek. I mean, it's not mishpat tzedek. So what kind of court is this? Right? So the Gemara tells us in Sanhedrin that what happens if you appoint judges who are really not qualified to judge? They don't have sufficient credentials, or they don't have sufficient degree of knowledge. So even though they mean to rule correctly, but that's not mishpat tzedek. That's considered the equivalent of installing an idol and say, well, that's what you believe in. It's like false gods. Shoftim v'shochim good. Sanhedrin Gedolah, the High Court. Oh, the High Court. Shoftim dayonim aposkim is hadin shochim harodin is aom is acham mitzvosom. The shochim, they're the law enforcers, which they compel the people to follow their dictate, their rulings. B'makal b'ritzua, even if they have to use the stick and the whip, that the people should fall into line. Achikabel olav dina shofet. The Midrash tells us that David was a shofet. David, besides being a king, he was a judge. So the Gemara tells us, the Midrash says that David had a general, Yoav, or Avner, that if not for his generals, he would have meant nothing. I mean, unless you have a law enforcer, you have a judge, you have a person who knows it all, but if people don't abide by the law, so what's the value of the ruling? So you have to have somebody to guarantee that it could be enforced. B'chol sharecho, b'chol ivir, every community. Shvatecho mosval titen loch, shoftim shotin l'chol shvatecho. Every one of the tribes in their communities have to have. It's a question the Ramban argues with this. The Ramban learns that each tribe had like the equivalent of a Sanhedrin Gedolah, who was responsible for the tribe to appoint the courts in each of the communities. That's l'shvotecho. L'shvotem lamed shemashiv dayonim chol shev v'shev v'chol ir v'ir. Shovtu sa'om mani dayonim mumchim. They have to be fully proficient with tzadikim. You could be proficient in law, but if you don't have people of integrity, so it's irrelevant what you know. Lishbo tzedek. So they should rule correct judgments. Yeah, go ahead. No, they disagreed, whatever it was. Things repeat themselves. Over here, if you notice Shoftim, it's written Choser. There could be a Vav after the Shin, right? Shoftim is written after the Vav. So over here, the Baal Turim says Shoftim Macha Ayin Sanhedrin. Right, you had 70, and you had the Chief Justice who was 71. But the Sanhedrin is made of 70 plus 1. Shoftim, again, b'gematria mechashev. Shemamidim chashi balik shofim shiodon vatal akshofim. Okay, the people themselves also, they're fully proficient in all the laws of sorcery to be able to convict a sorcerer. Shvotim tag lemado lemato yira hadayin ki lucherev munachas begenim psuch lemalke titen lecho. That this has relevance only to the Jew. V'lo legoyim magdvar v'yak chukah mishpat l'Yisrael. Chukah mishpatov magdu. Okay, b'chol sharecho v'shoftu. What's a shoftu? So he says osis u'poshut. The letters of shoftu u'poshut are the same letters. Yichovo lecho din shel poshut ledak bo din shel me'amona. Yeah, this should mean something simple, something of not great value. They should adjudicate even something which is of little value, no less than something of great value. Meaning they have to give it the same degree of seriousness. Okay?
What about the correct spelling of Shoftim? Is it with the Vav?
They're both correct. But why? I mean, if you could spell it where it's, I mean, without the vowels, it could be read Shvotim. Shvatim means judgments, right? So if you put the vav in, it can only be read as shoftim. So why does the Torah delete the vav, right? Again, to communicate this, that to the number, because the number of shoftim, the value, the numerical value is 70, for that reason. Losate mishpot. You should not sway judgment. Losakir ponim. You should not give any acknowledgement to any of the defendants. Why? Because the moment, even though, let's say you have one of the defendants deserves a certain degree of recognition because he has a status, the judge is not supposed to show any degree of recognition within the context of the judgment. Why? Because the moment one of the other defendants feels that this defendant is seen as special, automatically the other one, psychologically, he gives up hope. He figures it's a lost cause. The judge already favors the other defendant. So losat mishpat, losak uponim, losikach shochat, ki hashochat yaver nechachomim. You're not permitted to take bribery, because bribery blinds the eyes of the wise. We sell it divid tzadikim, and it corrupts righteous laws. Isn't it obvious? Losikach shochat. I mean, what do we have to give a reason? You cannot take bribery because this is what bribery does. I mean, what do you think the defendant is giving you the money? What, you should go do mitzvahs with the money? He wants you to favor him. Say, if we say earlier that the court has to give a judgment, a verdict of righteousness, so isn't it obvious that you can't bribe the judge? So you want to say it's a lavlo. Sikach shochat, finished. Do you know why? Because bribery it blinds the eyes of the wise and it corrupts righteous laws. Isn't that obvious? I mean, Torah has to tell me this. Okay, we'll see. Losate mishpat kemashmo. You shouldn't sway the justice, the judgment. Losakav apishas hatainos. Asora ledayon. Shaliyirach lezeh v'kosh lezeh. He shouldn't be gentle to one of the defendants and stern with the other one. You allow one defense to sit, the other one to stand. Because when one defense sees that he's giving greater honor, acknowledgments to the other one, automatically this silences the position of the other defendant because he feels it's a lost cause. Yeah, and Rashi is addressing this from the Sifri. Is it obvious? If the Torah says it has to be a righteous judgment, so of course you're not able to take shochat. Afil lishbot tzedek. So if it's lishbot tzedek, so what is he giving? What is he giving bribery? Why is he giving to him? I mean, the connotation of bribery is because you want him to see it your way. So what does it mean? Afil lishbo tzedek.
I would take a lesson from today's society. We see that justice and public opinion are two different things. That many times ruling is public opinion as opposed to justice. And justice has nothing to do with it. And the public opinion is simply being bribed. I often see it this way. If you'll allow me.
What time did you say you're going on public radio? Rashi is saying, he's quoting Sifri. Even if the judge is going to give a righteous judgment, he's not permitted to take bribery.
Yeah.
So if he's going to give a righteous judgment, so why is he taking the bribery? What's the whole value of it? Even to give a righteous judgment, he's not permitted to take bribery. I think this is what it means. That there's a question, which there's a ruling, which the Gemara of Basra discusses, called Shuda Dedaini. Literally, the way Tosas learned, it's called the flip of a coin. There's something which is not resolvable. It's just purely up to the judge to choose whichever he wants to favor. He has a right to favor, even though there's no basis to favor one over the other. Okay? The case is being, you have two documents which say that Ruvain sold Shimon a piece of property on a certain date, and another document, it says Ruvain sold Levi the same piece of property. And they're both substantiated documents. There's no way to know who, and Ruvain is not here, died. So who owns the field? Does Shimon own the field? Does Levi own the field? So the Gemara says, since it's something which is irresolvable, it's the way Tosa, it's a flip of a coin. Whatever the judge decides, he wants to give it to Shimon, he gives it to Shimon. What is it based upon? Based upon nothing. Because there's no other way to work it out. So Tosa has a question. If that's the case, let one of the people, let him bribe the judge. If you say it's based upon evaluating the evidence, say it's understandable. Giving bribery causes him to have a bias, right? A conflict. He's no longer impartial. Takes bribery, but here it's not. Impartiality has no relevance to the judgment. It's whoever he chooses to give it to. That's his right. So if that's the case, why can't one of the defendants should bribe the judge? That the judgment should go his way? That's Tosa's question. So Tosa's answers, it's a terrific answer. He says, when we speak about a verdict, who's qualified to give a verdict? Only a dayan, a shofet. A shofet who takes bribery is not a shofet. So it's true. The basis for the ruling is based on whoever he chooses to give it to. But who's the individual who makes the choice? He has to be classified as a shofet. But since bribery blinds the wise and corrupts justice, tzaddikim, therefore he's not called a judge. Once he's not a judge, his verdict is not a verdict. So the same thing over here. He understands who's right and who's wrong between the two of them. This pre-verdict. They already finished everything. Man figures, something. What do I have to lose? I'll give it to him. And the judge over here, it's relevant what the intent of the defendant is. The judge himself is a tzaddik. He knows exactly who's right and who's wrong. And the two, he's still not permitted to take it. Because the moment he takes it, he's no longer considered a judge. So that's what Rashi means. That's the Sifri. Afil lishbo tzedek. He's not permitted to take bribery, even if to give an authentic, a verdict of integrity, even that he cannot. Because then his verdict is not a valid verdict, because we're talking about a verdict of the court. A court is comprised of what? Of qualified judges. The moment he takes he's bribed, he's no longer a judge. Therefore, the verdict is not a verdict. There's only an appeal system if you have a basis for appeal. You want to introduce new evidence. If you have no new evidence, or you want to say maybe the judge's, the valuation, the evidence was, they missed something. But other than that, there's no appeal.